Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Hillary, the Marketing Mom. I'm glad you're able to join me today. Just want to, before we even get started, for those of you joining me live or watching the replay within a few minutes, maybe a couple of days, let's just take, just want to give out our thoughts and prayers to the victims and families of those in Las Vegas. This morning there was a horrible shooting in a concert late last night, early this morning, depending on what time zone you were in. So we just want to, we're thinking about them. And it kind of, even though I wanted to kick off this week with this topic because it's a question that came through my inbox, and I'm not going to share, directly who the person is, but it's a question, and I have actually personally struggled with it. And also I know of other friends, very close friends, who they've struggled with this concept of how can I be a good Christian and be a business person? Because, in our Christian teachings, and for those of you who don't know, I am Catholic, but in our Christian teachers, there seems to be a negative connotation around money, and they add a mass of money and all this type of stuff. So I wanted to address this because recently I was watching a video from another trainer, I guess you could say motivational speaker, talking about being obsessed. And I remember a few years ago, 4 years ago actually, when I first got started, I jumped in and was doing a lot of reading, a lot of personal development. And one of the books that I did zero in on and actually read it 2.5 times, I've yet to read it the third time as the instructions say, but Think and Grow Rich. And for anybody who's read that book, there comes a point where you're starting to struggle with maybe something that you've been taught all your life, but you are struggling with it from a personal standpoint, because here you are building a business, and obviously with a business comes financial benefits, financial resources, and you're wondering, well, is this the right thing to do from a moral standpoint? And I want to address it because it sometimes could create a block for people, especially women who are, you're Christian, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how does this balance with my faith? And in business, all right, and what I have found in my journey is that a lot of business writers take so much from Christianity, all right, and it starts with that first thing called faith. And one of the things that I have seen consistently throughout every personal development book that I've ever picked up, whether it's Motivation Manifesto from Brendon Burchard, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, there's something that's very fundamental about everything that they share, and it's faith. They say you must believe, and you must believe. And let's just think about that. The reality of our Christian faith is that we believe. All right. So if in business you have to believe, then that should be the first thing to let you know that there should not be a disconnect. Where the disconnect comes, as we've seen over and over again, is in how people use resources and money. All right. One thing that I always tell, a lot of my friends is that if we don't have money, we can't buy things. All right. One of the things that was so, I think, not shocking, but very powerful in the demonstration of how wealth helps is that not last week, week before, when Hurricane Maria hit one of our sister isles, Dominica, and that's actually where my sister and her family are living, our church was able to send 3+ containers, shipping containers of support and material to help them rebuild. And that was just one church. Okay. Now that could not happen if it wasn't for the wealth that existed. All right. Because plywood is not free. Cases of water isn't free. So we need to think about our businesses and the wealth that we will amass, not for ourselves, but for those that are going to benefit from it. And that is where the disconnect comes, all right? So one of the things, another challenge that a lot of Christians, they're faced with in terms of building a business, and if you're reading business books, all right, they talk about you have to become obsessed. All right. There's the book, The Science of Getting Rich. And if you read that book by Wallace, I can't remember his first name, something D. Wallace. All right. If you read that book, The Science of Getting Rich, you realize that there's an aspect of that book where they say you need to be thinking about money all the time, and money is your focus, and money is your focus. Well, again, let's parallel it to our Christian faith. As Christians, what do we focus on? Heaven, right? Jesus. We focus on that because that's our goal. And we're obsessed with that. We think about that. Now, if we just translate that to be, it's not a negative obsession. It's something that if you don't think about your goal, you're never going to achieve your goal. It's kind of like when I was a track athlete. The only thing I ever thought about was the Olympics 2000. The Olympics of 2000 was all I ever thought about. And I was obsessed with it because I wanted to achieve that goal. And it's the same thing with your business. If you and your business want to achieve 5 clients, 6 clients, 10 clients, you have to constantly think about that. And it's not a negative thing. It's just, this is your goal, and you keep your goal in front of you. In the same way as a Christian, you keep your goal, heaven, in front of you. All right. So a lot of people say, you know, if I'm going to be a good Christian, I can't be in business because they're loggerheads. And I really want to share that they don't have to be. It depends on what your motive is. What is your objective? If your objective with money, and maybe it boils down to how you see money. If you see money as an evil, well, then you're not going to want to grow your business and build your business. But if you see money as a tool that's going to help you and help others, all right, the same way a mouse is a tool that helps me get around the screen, or a cell phone is the tool that I use to communicate with others, all right? A lot of people talk about cell phones are evil now, all right? When I was growing up, television was evil, all right? But there are so many things that I have learned, all right? Because I didn't learn it from a book. I learned it because of History Channel or Discovery Channel on TV. So it's the means and what is your objective in your business, all right? You can't tell me that you want to make $1 million in a year, and by you getting that $1 million, you're going to be able to put your children through good education. You're going to be able to buy the proper books and clothing that you need. You're going to be able to buy a decent home for yourself and your family. That is not a bad thing, and that is something that it's your Christian duty to make sure that you take care of these things. And the only way you could take care of them in 2017 with an economy that is driven primarily by money. All right, we don't do bartering and trading anymore. Okay, that's pretty much how we do it. So as a Christian, you know what your motives are, you know what your goal is, and therefore you need to stop thinking of money as something bad and something negative. Because without money, we wouldn't have been able to send 3 containers to Dominica to help them rebuild their country. All right, the containers alone cost money. Everything that went into the containers cost money, and to ship the containers to Dominica cost money. All right, so if your business is growing and flourishing, be grateful and say thank God, because now you're able to put that to use somewhere in the world, whether it be in your own family, in your own community, in your own life, but it's always going to reach out to others. And one of the things that, you know, in the 1 Minute Millionaire, that book that I read earlier this year, it shows the millionaires who make their millions for the benefit of others versus the millionaires who make for the benefit of themselves. And the difference is that the millionaires often who make millions that benefit others, and that is their sole goal, they tend to make millions upon millions upon millions. And those that only make for themselves tend to they're always fighting to try and keep the 1 million that they've made. So that law of generosity shows itself, and it's, if you think of it, it's the Christian law, okay? When you give, the more you receive, which always seems like an oxymoron, all right? But the more you give, the more you're going to receive. So if you follow your business goal and follow your business path from the standpoint of, this is not for me to hold and hoard. It's for me to be able to give, and to give freely. You will see yourself having more than those who are just making money for make money's sake. All right. So I wanted to really touch on this point because it is something that I know, even from a female standpoint, a lot of women sometimes they don't know how to start their business because of this belief. All right. And whether or not you share that belief with me or not, that's a totally different thing. But I know there are people out there that do, and it's something that stops them. And I don't want that too, because it was something that I struggled with for quite a few months, trying to figure out, okay, how is this going to fit into my life? How is this going to fit into my belief? All right, my belief that it's so firm. All right, so I want you all to have a great day. Again, keep those in Las Vegas in your prayers, in your thoughts, and we're praying for the world right now, that there be peace over the world. Okay, so have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.